Partying on the beach, alcohol by the litre, and hitting the clubs until dawn. Is that your kind of thing? If so, there's plenty of places in Europe for you. Golden Sands in Bulgaria, Ibiza, Rimini in Italy, or Lloret de Mar in Spain, and the consequences in summer can be extreme. But one place seems to top them all. Mallorca is a big favourite among German and British partygoers, and they are becoming more and more problematic for the island. Every year there's more headlines. People jumping between balconies, fighting, littering, making noise. This year, this headline about gang rapes of young women by tourists in Mallorca shocked Europe. Even aside from these horrific cases, many residents say the behaviour of party tourists in general is getting worse, even though in spring this year, even stricter rules were introduced trying to curb the most extreme drinking. How is this possible? In this video, we'll find out what local people think and discover why Mallorca's battle to ditch its party image is almost doomed to fail. But let's start at the beginning. How did Mallorca become a magnet for party tourists in the first place? According to experts, Mallorca basically invented mass tourism and party tourism along with it. Tourism took off in the 1950s when big hotel chains were founded on the island. From the 60s on, Spain's dictator General Franco promoted Mallorca as a tourist destination. When Mallorca expanded its airport during the 1970s and as budget flights kicked in, a businessman named Tolo Cruzar saw an opportunity to make big money off tourists. He bought up and founded so many clubs and bars that he was nicknamed the Godfather of nightlife on Mallorca, and then other business people followed. That created some of Europe's hottest party hotspots on the island of Mallorca. Disclaimer, Mallorca is also popular with hikers and people wanting to enjoy a more relaxed beach holiday. With the money came problems. As tourists became drunker and more violent, Mallorca started a crackdown, making more and more rules to contain the impact on locals. But more on that later. We asked local residents and people working in tourism what it's like for them nowadays living on an island where others come to party, and often in excess.
I think there are too many. Too many.
Girls hooking up and fighting, robs, everything.
Día a día hartos ya, la borrachera, nos insultan, pasan aquí, dejan cosas, luego las limpiamos nosotros, los trabajadores.
Obviously there's people that get drunk and take it too far, but you get that everywhere you go and just kind of learn to ignore that kind of behavior.
Es bastante molesto porque ya vas por la calle incómoda y pues con los extranjeros gritando cosas, borrachos por todo y pues no suelo venir mucho por aquí precisamente por eso.
So for people who live on Mallorca all year round, the situation is pretty drastic. Because of tourist behaviour, sure, but there's another reason. I spoke to Sebastian Amrein. He researches mass tourism and specialises in the case of Mallorca. He told me, because Mallorca is an island, it is harder to deal with party tourists than it is for cities like Amsterdam and Barcelona.
They can diversify the economy, they don't depend that much on tourism. But on Mallorca, as an island, there's almost nothing else. And also the limited space, like for people who are affected or who suffer from the negative effects, they can't just leave. Locals feel the negative effects, but of course, tourists still want to come and enjoy the beaches, sunshine, and also the nightlife. Maybe it's the only chance they have all year to let go, and then they're faced with rules and restrictions. Here are some that Mallorca has brought in. Consumption of alcohol in the streets? Banned, with fines of up to 3,000 euros if you break the rules. Buying alcohol from a supermarket late at night, offers at bars and clubs for unlimited alcohol, party boat tours or booze cruises, pub crawls, forget it, not allowed. Also, no Airbnb in residential buildings because all the partying was disturbing the residents. Mallorca's not the only place to hit party tourists with rules. Amsterdam has paid for videos showing drunk tourists being handcuffed to show up when young British men Google pub crawl or stag party, while Barcelona is fining people for outdoor drinking parties on the beach or in the old town. But on paper, Mallorca has gone way further in the fight to contain party tourists. So how do tourists themselves feel about these rules? Do they think their behaviour could be problematic?
Yes. But if you live here, you should be ready for that. They not know these rules.
No.
I'm on holiday.
I do party, but I'm not one of these who would drink on the street anyway.
And what do you think about the people living in all these flats in front of the sea? Do you think for them it's annoying?
Got a chance to go outside to the other places from the island.
I think for the locals it's very horrible to live here.
So tourists themselves don't always see the problem. Rules are all well and good, but have they actually changed anything? How do local people see it?
Ese turismo de borrachera ha mejorado, porque hace unos 40 años vomitaban las beans y el huevo frito y ahora las vomitonas llevan gambas, un poquito más de calidad.
Decía y mirar lo que está más alto, se supone el letrero por la calle que no se puede ir desnudo y se van desnudos y no hay una sanción, no hay nada. O sea, y van detrás de los locales a ver si te denuncio por la música, por otro, para sacar dinero, pero otra cosa no.
¿Ves policía aquí?
No mucho, no mucho. Vienen cuando les da la gana, pero sí, claro. Tampoco cuando vienen, tampoco les ves con ganas de hacer algo.
Well, the first part of the season they did absolutely nothing. But in the last month, something is moving towards this direction to make it safer.
No, I don't think the police is not active. No. I think they need to punish with a lot of sanctions. Don't let come again to the island.
So why doesn't the government enforce the rules more if residents are so angry? I asked the police and the council in Mallorca about whether they enforce the rules, but we didn't get an answer. I asked Sebastian if there are underlying reasons why the government is not stricter with unruly tourists. The truth is, Mallorca has no plan B.
Mallorca depends almost entirely on tourism. 85% of the economy depends on tourism. So yeah, there's almost no alternative on the island.
So basically, Mallorca's hands are tied. It can't limit tourists without losing money and jobs. 1 in 3 employees works in the hotel and restaurant industry, and many businesses face catastrophe as Mallorca was deprived of its tourists during the pandemic. So is it destined to put up with Europe's rowdiest partygoers forever? Well, since the local elections in May 2023, the left-wing government that made the rules limiting drunken partying is out. The new government, a coalition of the conservative Partido Popular and the far-right Vox, have announced they are scrapping a lot of the rules on tourist behaviour because they want even more tourism. And Mallorca's drive to focus on luxury rather than party tourism is only attracting a new type of tourists, not discouraging the old. Have you ever been partying in Mallorca? What was your experience like? Let us know in the comments.